Alright, so let's jump into part one of reloading 223. So I just came back from the range today, and I didn't actually shoot 223 myself, but a couple of the guys were down there shooting and they didn't want their brass, so I went ahead and picked it up. Looks like we've got a couple of different brands here. Here's a Norma 223 Remington Federal cartridge, 2015 military round. So I'm going to go ahead and there's some, what else do I got on here? I got some 9mm in here too, probably. Yeah, there's some 9mm, because that's what I'm normally reloading, is 9mm over here on the press. But I'm going to go ahead and just tumble all these together. I do use the Lyman Turbo 1200 right here. And as always, you can take a look at the description in the video, and I will have affiliate links to Amazon where you can purchase any of the equipment that I use, if it's available on Amazon. So we're going to set that up. I usually put it down on the floor over here, and we'll put those in there. So be right back. All right. Okay, so let me go ahead and open this sucker up. I did lose the top screw to this thing. I had like a little, rubberized, nice stopper and whatnot, but so I don't know. It flew off one day, so I just got a little rubber washer, and nut does the trick. Already got the media in there. We'll go ahead and toss everything in here, and we're ready to go. Now, there's one other thing that I do in here. These are cases right off of the range. I'm told by the guys that were shooting them that they were, once fired. But we'll take a closer look at them. I'm just going to run this through, and it makes a racket. Now, one of the things that I use, new polish. Car wax. A couple of drops of this. Just to help clean it up. And usually, I'll see if I can't do this while I'm filming, but normally I just do a couple of drops, not a lot. That's more than I normally do, but trying to film and do this at the same time. Does the job for polishing, keeps the dust down. And I'm going to shut that off while I put the lid back on. Otherwise, while it's running, it's kind of hard to get the lid secured on there while it's jumping all around. All right, here we go. So we'll let that run for, I don't know, a couple hours. Whew, it's roasty out here. And once that's cleaned up, we'll move on to the next step, which is to deprime and resize. You can see I've got a bunch of 9mm here. These are basically in the next step. These have been polished. I just kind of had them sitting around here. You can see I got a ton of 9mm in various stages. But that's for another video. We're going to do 223 here. But while that's washing out, here's a couple that I had done a little bit earlier, but I ended up thinking I'm going to go ahead and reject them. me see if I can get a good shot of this. Ding on the neck there, that's not a big deal. That'd probably get blown out once it gets fired. But actually what I was more concerned about, and it's probably nothing, but you know, I'm getting his brass for free, so if it's a little questionable, I'm going to go ahead and not use it. And you can see right there, it's got a couple of dings on here and scratches, especially right there. That one right there. It doesn't look like a crack, but it's like almost the start of a crack, so away it goes. This one here, same thing. You can see that one right there, right in the center. It's also got a ding here, but again, that's probably not a big deal. But again, better safe than sorry. So that one's out. This one here, couple deep nicks right there. And I think that's it for that one. They were sort of, you can see there, I don't know, this brass looks like it's been stepped on and it's just a little chewed up. Not a lot, but again, better safe than sorry. We'll toss those. Except I don't have a garbage bag right here. I gotta get a garbage bag on my little setup. This is my setup. It's in my garage. And I'm using the Hornady Lock and Load Classic single stage press. It's my first press that I've had for, I don't know, a few years. I've had it for like 5 years or so. And I actually find it relaxing to come out here and just, you know, work on some brass. Put the radio on over there. And again, I've been reloading 9mm mainly. Just plinking ammo, berries, bullets. Got a couple boxes there of the 115 grain and 125 grain. But I wanted to get into reloading some 223, and so what I did was, I actually don't have a 223 rifle at the moment, believe it or not, but I'm actually getting one, and I actually already purchased it, but don't tell my wife. It's a Ruger American Predator model, 22-inch barrel, 1 1/8 twist. I don't know, it's not a heavy barrel, but it's not the standard barrel, you know, it's one of those in-between type of barrel things. And I did some research, and I did all, you know, I checked all the different, what do you call, you know, all the different options that I had. I live in California, and I'm, you know, I could have gone with an AR with a bunch of freaking goofy crap on it. Like those ridiculous handles with the, you know, with the piece of plastic so you can't put your thumb through, blah blah blah, blah, all this mumbo jumbo, and it's just like until we get all that cleared up, I'm not even gonna entertain buying one of those. So, and I kind of like bolt action anyway. I like the slower pace of it. It's kind of my thing, you know. That's just me. But anyway, I'm rambling. But what I wanted to do is, you know, well, anyway, back to the rifles. So I looked at, like, you know, and I want to go kind of cheap. I don't have a ton of money to spend. I just spent a bunch of money on a whole bunch of other stuff that I couldn't really allocate a ton of money towards my 223 project. And, you know, I looked at, like, the Mossberg MVPs. I looked at the Savage Axis 2. What else was there? The Ruger, the Hawas. Hawas are, so I don't know. They have them. They got a ton of them over here in California. I don't know if they have them elsewhere, but they're a Japanese brand, Hawa, Howa. So looked at a couple of those. There's like the Hawa 1500 actions, but they had some on sale here. Well, not on sale, but halfway decent prices. The short action. I forgot the exact name of it, but it's basically the Hawa 1500 short action. And those look real nice and smooth, got great reviews and everything else like that. But they had a 1 in 9 twist. And there's a little bit of a premium price to that. You know, you get what you pay for. But my whole thing is I don't want to have, you know, a gun that's absolutely perfect and I can just throw any kind of ammo in it and put bullets, you know, at 100 yards through the same hole. I got a 1022 that's all tricked out that can do that, and after a couple rounds, you know, or after a couple magazines, it gets kind of boring. This whole project here is to get a 223 that's, you know, not too expensive, isn't the best thing, you know, accurate enough, and hopefully I lucked out with the one I got, and you know, with the Ruger. After looking online, you know, there was kind of one of those quality control hit or miss type things. Some of them were coming out kind of crappy, some not. So we'll see. We'll see what I get. You know, no real way to tell until you actually take it out and shoot it. But I will pick it up in about 9 or 7 days or something like that. I gotta wait, you know, because God forbid, California, I may freak out with it or something and try to shoot my other rifles with it if I got it, you know, when I actually bought it. Anyway, so that's another story. We'll talk about the rifle later once I actually get it and try it out. But my whole thing is I you know, I enjoy reloading and it's relaxing for me. And like I've heard some of the other loaders say, you know, you go to the range just so you could shoot all the stuff and have brass to start reloading again, right? And that's kind of where I fall. I want to do the reloading. I want to try different, you know, loads, different bullets, you know, and see how accurate I can get from a baseline, you know, rifle that's, you know, okay. Hopefully it's better than okay, you know, depending on what I got. So one of the things I did get here is the Lee Ultimate Die Set 223, except this one here's got to go back because it's supposed to have 4 dies. Alright, let me pick this up. So you're supposed to get full-length sizing die, the collet neck sizing die, the easy adjust dead length bullet seating die, and the factory crimp die. Well, this one came minus the factory crimp die. Excuse me, it's freaking hot. It's like 100 degrees here today. And I just swept up the garage here. I'm full of dust. Anyway, so like I said, this one's got to go back. I got it off of Amazon. Believe it or not, these things got good reviews online. And I've already, you know, I've run through a couple of 223 rounds with all of this just to see how they all work. Minus the crimp die, which is not here. I guess these things run around anyway, anywhere from like $40 to like I've seen them at like $52 or whatever. I don't know if I got a deal because minus the crimp die, 20, what is it, like $27 or something, $28. Obviously, it's supposed to come with the crimp die. And they were brand new when I opened it. So it's not like they were just like remanufactured or whatever, recycled or something like that. No, they were actually brand new, never opened. Quality control at Lee didn't put the factory crimp die in. So anyway, Amazon's sending me another one, and then I got to send this one back. Still, $28, free shipping too, by the way, so you can't beat that. So, let's see. We'll let this stuff we'll let that stuff finish cleaning for a couple hours, and we'll take a look at it. Through the magic of video, that should be in a second for you guys. Okay, so it's been a couple hours, and the brass is looking nice and clean. So, with this Lyman tumbler, you get this pan. There's a little rubber stopper here, right, that allows the media to flow out. So I'll just show you what it looks like, but it's going to be really loud, and so I'll just cut that out. But basically, you turn it on, tumbles all the media out, leaving the brass inside. And we'll see that now next. Okay, so there we go. Obviously, you can imagine if this stuff's just twirling around in here, it gets really, really, really loud. So we'll dump that back in once we get the brass out. Put the stopper in there again. I'll do that when I got two hands. Alright, so now we'll get all this stuff out. Come over here. Well, yeah, put it in here. I think that's all of it. So, next step is to sort through all this. We'll divide it up, get rid of all the 9mm, and then we'll take all the 223s and we'll take a look and maybe divide them up by manufacturer, you know, so that I don't know, I guess you don't have to do that, but I like to do it I do that with my 9mm, you know, because they're all a little bit different. So let me divide that up, and then we'll see how many we're left with. Okay, so what I did was I ended up just dumping them out on here and picking through all the 9mm. And these look pretty nice. Some of them here still have a little bit of the dark around the neck from the annealing, but otherwise they are nice and clean. And this is actually my first large batch of 223. So we're going to learn together here, I guess. But I did have, some of them still had a little bit of the media inside of them. Maybe got to tumble them a little bit more. But we'll clean that up. So that is pretty much step one. I think this will conclude this video where we clean up our brass. Stay tuned for part two. I think in part two what we'll be doing is actually resizing, you know, lubing the cases, resizing them, and depriming them. Oh, that one doesn't look like it has a primer in it. There we go. So, tune into part two.